We appreciate you coming in to see us this morning. I mentioned, of course, it's unavoidable, your first huge bite of fame with Bros.
Yeah, absolutely.
How did that become this Vegas career? Because, I've seen you in Vegas. You were brilliant. I've seen you over here as well. And it's a very different Matt Goss we see compared to what people might remember if they've not seen the show.
What were you doing at 18, 19? I mean, we all
mind your own business.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure I know what it was, but no, I think the thing is we all grow up. You become a man, and I've become a man over the years in front of a lot of people. You know what I mean? So I've learned things in front of the public in a way, and I just made a record in America, and it was called the Goss. The album was called Gossy, and then some of the casino bosses saw it out there, and they said we want him at our casino. And then 9 months from that, then Caesars came in, and to quote the president of Caesars, he said we stole Matt Goss from the Palms. And 7.5 years at a show in Vegas. It's just really, it's not it's pursuing your musical career. It's like I love to sing and I love to perform, and that's really all it is. It's not me reinventing myself. It's just me becoming a man and really remembering the influences from my grandfather, like Nat King Cole, Perry Como.
But also becoming a man, becoming your own man as a singer, but entering into a huge slice of musical history, legendary musical history, because of the Sinatras, the Sammy Davises, the Dean Martins, even Anthony Newley had residencies, who's one of my absolute favourites, in Vegas.
Yeah.
How does that feel when you get that kind of attention in Vegas, the showbiz capital of the world, Matt?
It's pretty incredible. I mean, I don't usually say when I get awards and stuff, but I just won the Icon Award with the likes of Muhammad Ali and Tony Bennett, and I just won the Icon Award, the next one with the Centennial, so it's not for another 50 years. So it's the highest award you can get in Vegas as an Icon Award, and it's the only award I have. Even the Brit Award that I won here, and I mean I'm proud of all those, but to win that and to be a South East London boy and just go to Vegas and then win an Icon
and
Award,
nail it and crack it.
Yeah, and it's just hard graft, really. It's just a lot of graft.
And what's your life like, your lifestyle in Vegas? Because it's always known as the kind of late night city. The show's on, you're doing more than one show a day, you're out there performing. So how do you fill your time leading up to the show? How do you not go bonkers over there?
Well, it's a massive misconception. I mean, Vegas is got, there's a few million people there that live off of the Strip, and me included. I have a house in Vegas as well, and I live on a golf course, and it's extremely green. You just see mountains, and quite frankly, when you're working and you're singing in Vegas, you don't spend a lot of time on the Strip, so you get to know the community. You get to some of the most stunning countryside, Red Rock. All those beautiful.
Also, you're only a helicopter ride away from the Grand Canyon.
I've been there. We go there all the time.
It's astonishing places. Like God's hit the wall with a hammer.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, we get a chopper and we go down and have a picnic, and we spend like 4 hours inside the Grand Canyon, and it's like Native American Holy Land, and it's so much different. I mean, Vegas is amazing. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of stuff you can do, but if you want to actually dig a little bit deeper, it's a very profound town.
And also, of course, you've got other shows. Do you go and see other acts, other artists when they're in town?
Yeah, I mean, I think shows like are incredible, like Cirque du Soleil, and smaller shows, but still incredible shows like Absinthe.
One I saw that I found really hypnotic but bonkers was the Blue Man Group, or whatever they're called. Have you seen those?
Yeah, I mean, great show. That's definitely like a real quick hit. Like to me is like almost like Salvador Dali in motion.
Yeah.
And then Absinthe is like completely inappropriate, but a brilliant show. It's like.
Okay, well, let's hear a bit now from the new single. It's out at the back end of next month. It's getting a lot of airplay already. It's called Gone Too Long. This is Matt Goss, Gone Too Long, the new single. More from Matt after this.
We've been gone too long, laying side by side in this bed. We feel alone. We've been gone too long, so I know we just hold each other tonight. Maybe we should hold each other tonight. Baby, it's not too late. Maybe we should hold each other tonight.
It's a great song. It's Gone Too Long. Will there be an album on the back of it as well, Matt?
Yeah, I just finished. I'm writing the album now, but it was fun. I directed the video on that, so check it out on iTunes. I'm proud of it.
So you've made your home in America now for a good few years.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were talking this morning on the show because, of course, the first presidential TV debate happened. 2:00 our time it started. We've heard from Jerry Springer and people. And you're very fascinated by American politics. Now, didn't you do a concert recently for Joe Biden, the vice president?
Yeah, I played for the vice president of the United States about 5 weeks ago, and it's a real honour. I met Bill Clinton, and it was a real honour to be asked to sing for him. He's incredible. We both went through similar losses, both me and him, and he's a very, very kind family, like an incredible. The whole family were there, and I did the DNC, National Democratic Convention, and yeah, I'm obsessed with politics. I mean,
Okay, and what do you make of the Donald Trump phenomenon? When he started out running for the Republican candidacy, he was regarded as a bit of a joke figure. No one's really laughing now. What's the mood like in America about Donald Trump?
I think honestly, I mean, I can't vote, but I have a very strong opinion about politics both here and abroad. But I do think that when your rhetoric includes, mass blanket statements about certain ethnicities and stuff like that, it really irritates me. I'm an immigrant, and I contribute to the American economy. I pay taxes. I pay 30 Americans, and so I contribute to the economy. And I take great offence at the assumption that immigrants are criminals. And so, listen, that's as political as I'd like to get. But in regards to facts, I think that when you're in charge of a country of that size and that magnitude and that much power, you do need to base some of your statements with fact.
And also, I suppose, just think before you speak sometimes, because if you are going to be leader of the free world, and that's what the American president is, you can't just say something's going to please a crowd or please even bigots in the crowd. You've got to think before you speak.
Yeah, I'm not I'm not a very PC person. I don't believe that you should be politically correct. I actually believe that the UK is slightly too PC at times. I think that we're known for our dark, our sadistic sense of humour, and I think that I like that about the British, and I think so. I'm not overly, but I think you're right. I think when he speaks, sometimes, like even today, I don't know if you saw the debate. I skipped through a few of the things, and he was like a 400-pound guy on his computer. I'm like, what has that got to do with anything?
Yeah.
Why does he have to be a 400-pound guy? There are a lot of people over there that, he just says stuff that is not very presidential, and so this is the most I've ever said about it, really, because I have to be very obviously cautious. But I think to be conscious, be mindful when you want to run a country and you want to represent, the world. I mean, be mindful at least.
Yeah, be a start, wouldn't it, at the very least?
Yeah.
Okay, now, you're on at Wembley very soon indeed. I think it's October the 1st you return to Wembley.
I play Wembley on Saturday, and please come and see me. It's going to be an absolute celebration. My shows are incredibly uplifting, and I've got the NHS...
And may I say, folks, they are proper shows as well. We're not just
that.
concerts, it's a show, isn't it? It's show business and a show.
Yeah, thank you for that. I mean, I believe that, you come and see a show and you got to feel differently and like elevated after it. And we've also got the NHS choir opening up the show as well, because I'm a big supporter of the NHS, and so the NHS choir is going to open the show, and they're probably going to come on and sing one of my songs as well. We're going to have a really
brilliant.
beautiful time. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the single out, which is actually at the end of this month, Gone Too Long. He's on at Wembley this Saturday. Although we mentioned politics in America, it must be a bit like coming back here, going back to the 80s, because we've got quite a hard left leader of the Labour Party,
Right.
and we've got Maggie Thatcher Mark II as the Prime Minister. So it's a bit like we've returned to the kind of divisions that we had in the 80s.
Well, I think again, like I travel so much, and I see, like, again, to talk about the National Health Service for a second, my stepfather, when my mother passed away, now lives with me in America, and if he'd have had, he's had 3 hip replacements. If he'd have had them, he had them here, which is, they looked after him, successful. If he'd had them in the States, it would have cost him £700,000. So
It's a terrifying thought.
It's a terrifying thought, but and then maybe for a £12 prescription, it's £120 prescription. So it's the prescription drug companies really rule America, and so do the insurance companies. It's a very different thing. So when I come back here, I am very aware of how blessed we are to have this in this country as well.
Okay, we've got lots of questions coming in for you via Twitter, via the text. This is from Mary in Exeter. Morning, Paul. Morning, Matt. I'm a massive Matt Goss fan and part of the Matt Goss Appreciation Society. Can you ask Matt what he learnt about himself while he was in Las Vegas for his residency? Did you change as a person in Vegas?
I didn't change as a person, but I definitely changed in the fact that it teaches you composure. Because some people come and see you that know you every song, every lyric, and some people have just read a review and they have no idea who you are. So 40 million people go through that town every year.
40 million?
Yeah. But the great thing is that 16% of business is British. So I have a massive British contingency come to see me in Vegas. But you do have to check your ego at the door, because there's some people like arms crossed, and then by the end of it, they're having the time of their lives.
So you've got to win them over. Every show's got to be a show.
Yeah, you got to, check your ego at the door and realise why you're on stage, and that's because people want to be quote unquote entertained, and I love it. It's taught me a great deal about composure on stage.
Okay, and also you had, I think I'm right in saying, one of the biggest debut albums in the history with CBS, but then of course your last album, Life You, went to #1, didn't it? Life You Imagine?
Yeah, it went to #1, yeah. But yeah, both here in the States, yeah. Life You Imagine I recorded with legendary producer Ron Fair with the LA Philharmonic, and it was just more of a swing record, but still commercial sensibilities. But again, it's like what you said before. I'm just like the new record. After I've experienced quite a lot of loss in the last couple of years, and rather than write a record that's really, really too heavy, I just decided to write a record that, like a love record, like a record how I feel. Like this song is about, Gone Too Long is about, it says laying side by side, but we feel alone. It's about a lot of marriages and relationships out there that don't communicate, and just, you know, you either should communicate and start making love again, or move on. And that's what this song is about. And I think I've learned a lot about communication and love and loss and stuff. So.
And it's your birthday Thursday, I think, isn't it?
It is my birthday.
What have you got planned for that?
I'm going to a good London restaurant, and then obviously then I've got to do rehearsals the next day, then Wembley.
You know we've got the Greggs all over London now, all over the place. If you want a pasty on the way, mate, if it's Nouvelle Cuisine, they don't feed you, go to the Greggs.
Do you think I'm absolutely dying for a pasty and good fish and chips, and a good curry, probably have one tonight.
Do you have anything sent out or thrown out, like OK sauce or stuff? Are there things, food things you miss from Britain?
Well, I think, again, like every town you go to in the world, there's massive British contingency. So there's always a British shop that everybody knows about. That they get their HP sauce, and they get their Maltesers, and they get all the little things that you fancy in your digestives. Like Tony, my stepfather, we call it the West Wing. He lives in the west part of my house, and he's always stocked up on Maltesers and Chocky D's and all that. He's like, and he goes, "Did you nick some of my chocolate biscuits?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he has chocolate fingers. And
he must be like with a student. Does he write his name on his bacon and stuff like that? Does he?
He does.
Puts his initials on the chocolate digestives.
He's got his own. Trust me, he's got his own stash. He's got his own part of the house, and I leave him alone because he's got his own independence. But like at 2 a.m, sometimes I get back from the show, and I'm like, I wonder if Tony's got any goodies. So I go and nick his stuff from his part.
My dad retired to France a few years ago, so he comes back a lot. But you know, he's back.
My old man's in France as well.
What he always wants to take over, Maynard's wine gums, right? Maynard's wine gums and Stilton cheese, because you can't get that in France. So those are the only two things he misses.
Stilton cheese.
Stilton cheese and Maynard wine gums. And finally, of course, we can't let you go without answering this one. A lot of people, I'll put Lisa in Aberdeen, Simon in Nottingham,
right.
Steve in Walsingham. Hi, Paul. Any chance of Matt ever getting back on stage with Luke and Craig, even for charity? Will there ever be, they're saying, a Bros reunion? And then she adds at the end, I've still got my Grolsch bottle tops.
Well, you know, the thing is, I've got to be honest, like, I had some of the best times of my entire life in that band. Our last show was at Wembley Stadium, and I think me and my brother just said, if we can do it right, and that we've always said that, if we can do it right and we feel like we can put on, because we were known for those gargantuan shows, and like less was less with a Bros show, you know, we always just, then I think me and my brother would be up for it. But it's just, again, it's like, Bros does not live in a place of rumours. It's just like, you know what I mean? It's like, me and my brother we took great pride in establishing our own careers. Obviously, like, I don't know what it is. It's like everyone else is allowed to go and do their own thing. Me and my brother wanted the same thing, same as you. I'm sure you've got siblings, and you want to have your own identity. So the good news is that me and my brother are in a very, very good place personally again, so that feels good.
Brilliant stuff. Will you see him on your birthday, do you think, or is he out of the country?
I think he's actually making a movie right now.
Another movie? Yeah,
so me and him, like, I was on stage last night in Vegas, so like, we're both kind of gooey, like, we're all over the world, but we play video games online together, and we're on Bluetooth, and we just play video games and switch off that way, and so it's fun, man. We're close again, so it's
great to see you. Happy birthday in advance of Thursday. Break a leg. It's going to be a fantastic show. Wembley Saturday night, and then of course the party afterwards at the Playboy Club, I understand.
You've always been a gentleman, and all my love to this amazing city.
Thank you very much indeed. Matt Goss live with me, Paul Ross, on Talk Radio. It's 8:59. He'll get you talking.